shit, yeah, they breath stank. Walk up in the club, dripping like I'm fresh paint. I can see through the facade like an x-ray.
What's going on, fight fans? It's another great day when you love MMA. Welcome back to Mad Matty Fight Talk, episode 13. Let's get on into it. This past weekend, UFC put on a pretty stellar event. UFC 262, Charles Oliveira versus Michael Chandler. Coming to you from Houston, Texas. There was a live crowd with 16,000 packed in that bad boy. It was pretty awesome to see the crowd back. I truly enjoy when there's the energy of the crowd because I feel like that makes the fighters fight even harder. Pandemic was cool because we got to hear these guys really leather touching face and corners, advice, and all that good stuff. But I personally enjoy when there's a crowd because they know when to amplify it. They know when to get into the fight to help the fighters bring out the best in them. And I know you guys know that as well. So let's get on into it. Before we get into the main card, obviously some crazy shit happened in the prelims. It was when Jacare fought Andre Muniz. That fight was pretty ridiculous. It was an early finish. It was pretty bad. Andre got his back, got Souza's back. They had a crazy scramble. One thing led to another. Jacare's arm got caught and snapped. It was one of the loudest elbow breaks I've ever heard in the UFC. Actually, in MMA, period. The dude got his back, went for some weird armbar looking deal, basically trapped his arm, and all you heard is pop, like super loud. It was horrible. And you got to love Joe Rogan because he's like, hey guys, let's go back and listen to it real speed. It was terrible sounding. Jacare, man, he's been on the bad end of 2 fights. He's an older guy. He's 41. I don't know if he's going to be able to come back from this injury, honestly, man. It's a really bad one. He had to get a pin in his arm. They had to lock that thing back together. Prayers out to you, man. I hope you get a full recovery. It was unfortunate the fight went that way. I was really hyped to watch Jacare fight again. It just shows the older these guys get, the more brittle their bodies are becoming from all the damage that they've taken over the years. So that was a nasty fight. I don't know if you guys got to check that out, but the highlight on that is horrible. I mean, it's great for the guy who did it, but for Jacare, I would not ever want to watch that again. First fight on the fight card was Edson Barbosa versus Hurricane Shane Burgos. Dude, that fight needed to be way higher up on the fight card. Those guys got after it. From start to finish, that was a great fight. Both sides brought it. Edson Barbosa looked like he was landing the harder shots. He looked like the leg kicks were working from right away. Right when the bell rang, he came out through about 3 of those bad boys. Burgos ate him, though, and just kept moving forward. The thing about Burgos is he was landing nasty body shots in that fight. Getting inside, ripping to the left, ripping to the right. He was throwing nice boxing combinations. His jab was on point. He was just a step behind Barbosa. Barbosa was really explosive in that fight. Barbosa was taking advantage of his hands more than I've ever seen him do in any fight he's had. So that was impressive. The crazy thing about that fight is at the very end, Barbosa cracks him with a combination with the hands. Burgos takes a step back, looks at him, and then just keeps falling down. And then he literally went unconscious. It was the craziest shit I've ever seen. I've never seen a delayed knockout like that in any sport I've played. So it was kind of scary, honestly, man. I thought there was something seriously wrong with the guy. And what's even crazier than that nobody's really talking about is Barbosa runs in and nails him with like 2 more punches. So that could have been really bad for that dude. I thought he was like in serious mental trouble because it looked really bad. I've never seen somebody get hit like that. The camera was on them and you could see them going cross-eyed and fading right to the ground. It was insane. But that was a killer fight. I really enjoyed that one. Edson Barbosa ended up winning. The next fight on the fight card was Katlyn Chookagian versus Aroujo. That fight, it was pretty good. Aroujo came out swinging for the fences. That girl was packing bombs. She was going out there with bad intentions. She was trying to hurt Chookagian. But Chookagian's a beast, man. She ate a lot of those punches. And then when she established her jab and controlled the distance with front kicks, jabs, she put a beating on that girl. So Aroujo basically couldn't close the gap. She couldn't get in there and land her punches as the fight went on. The first round was pretty competitive, but from the second round on, stand-up wise, Chookagian was beating that ass. She was sticking that jab in there, just yelling like Holly Holm, stop, stop, just nailing her with the jab. In the interview, she said that she didn't even have to look and it was landing. There was a moment, though, when Aroujo got it to the ground, got to full mount, did some damage. Chookagian showed that she's a true professional, got out of a bad situation, got back to her feet, controlled the distance again, landed some more combinations and jabs, ended up winning a decision. Moving right along. Yeah, the next fight on the fight card was Matt Schnell versus Rogerio Bontorin. That fight was pretty fucking fun to watch, I'm not going to lie. Both guys were throwing down combinations. Both guys were landing good shots. Matt Schnell, I feel like he came into the fight in better shape. Bontorin missed weight by a little bit, so I feel like he had the cardio advantage, but he didn't use it. He didn't push the pace. He didn't put a tiring pace on this guy. He let Bontorin pick his shots because he was too busy trying to be a technical striker and pick his shots. I don't blame the guy because that's his style, but he let Bontorin hang in that fight, and it ultimately ended up costing him the fight. An interesting thing that happened in that fight, later in the third round, there was a wild exchange. Bontorin catches Schnell with a nasty combination. Schnell was trying to adjust his mouthpiece and ended up coming out. The fight goes to the ground. The ref decides, fuck it. You know what I mean? You don't have a mouthpiece in. Nothing seriously bad can happen. They're doing jiu-jitsu. Bontorin immediately starts ground and pounding. I don't know how you can let the fight go on for 2 to 3 minutes without giving this guy his mouthpiece back. I fought for a little bit. I would never want to step in there without a mouthpiece, especially if you're getting elbowed. You know what I mean? There's a lot of damage that you can do. Some people have jagged teeth. It could catch your lip. It could really do some damage permanently and, in the long run. That's a thing where the ref needs to step in there and be like, hey, we're going to put you back on the ground in the position you started in, but we got to give this guy his mouthpiece because, you're in a position where you could hurt this guy. So I think that was a shitty job on the ref's part. But, who knows? That's just me. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm being a little bitch about it. But I don't think so. The ref should have stepped in there, gave this guy his mouthpiece, because I think that was also a distraction in Matt Schnell's mind, because he looked like he was just trying to stay there and not let anything crazy happen, because clearly he didn't have a mouthpiece in, probably didn't want to lose any teeth. Bontorin did a good job. Third round, he poured it on basically from the second to the third. He started landing heavier shots. He started countering well. Schnell was landing good shots too. It was a good back and forth fight, but I feel if Matt would have pushed the pace from the beginning and just poured it on this guy, he could have had a better outcome. He ended up losing the fight. But, it is what it is. You live and you learn, right? And in the co-main event of the evening, one that I was extremely excited to watch, Beneil Dariush versus Tony Ferguson. Everybody loves watching Tony Ferguson fight. The guy's electrifying. He's been electrifying for a number of years. Beneil is on the uprise. He is a finisher. He's been in crazy fights himself. He's not as well known as Tony Ferguson, but his fight style and the way he fights is aggressive. It's beautiful. This fight, I really thought Tony Ferguson was going to make a bounce back from that Oliveira and Gaethje fight. Lost a 5-round war with Gaethje, then he loses a 3-round war with Oliveira. So I'm expecting Tony to come out firing. It was the complete opposite of what I was expecting. Tony, I don't know, man. The guy trains at 10th Planet. I would assume that you have really good jiu-jitsu and ground game, but he doesn't like to use it. He used to be very aggressive off of his back. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's his age, if it's the injuries, but Beneil was able to take him down and keep him there for a good portion of this fight. It was a 15-minute fight. He had about, 11, 12 minutes of ground control. He basically followed the blueprint that Oliveira laid down. Take this guy down, work jiu-jitsu, and hurt him. There was a moment in the fight, though, where Beneil caught Tony with a nasty knee bar or heel hook. I've never seen Tony Ferguson ever show emotion or pain. I seen his face grimacing, just like, it looked like it was about to have his ankle snapped or his tendons torn. Beneil couldn't finish him with a leg lock, but controlled the fight on the ground, kept it there. He landed a shot standing up, but he was grappling Ferguson. He got Ferguson to the ground. Ferguson couldn't get back up. I don't know if this is the new Tony Ferguson that we're seeing, where he's kind of like Kevin Holland. You take Kevin Holland down and hold him there, nothing bad can happen to you. I don't like this. I'm hoping that Ferguson can turn it around because I'm a huge fan of Tony Ferguson. I'm assuming that he wants to have all stand-up wars, but it's the MMA world, man. You got to mix it up when you're on the ground. You got to at least get back up to your feet. I'm not saying it's easy to get back up, especially when Beneil's so good as a grappler. I'm just saying expect a lot more from you when you're training at 10th Planet. Those guys are no joke, and I know you have finishes off of your back. So that fight was kind of disappointing. I was going for Ferguson in the fight. I wasn't really impressed with Dariush's performance. I don't think anybody was. It wasn't that impressive of a fight. I mean, I know I'm going to get some shit for this, but seriously, man, Dariush has great grappling and great ground control, and I respect it, and I understand the level that guy's at, and it's not just easy to hold Ferguson down. But at the same time, he wasn't, the third round especially, they were kind of in a north-south position for multiple minutes, and it's, no shots are being thrown, nobody was really doing anything. It's kind of boring after a while. A good old boring grappling match. I want to see some more striking from this guy on the ground. I want to see him consistently going for submission finishes. Dariush needed to make a statement there. He needed to finish Ferguson to put his name right into the title race. You're right there. They're literally fighting in your weight class in the main event for the belt. You could bunny hop people by just eliminating this guy. So I was kind of disappointed that he wasn't able to do that for himself. At the end of the day, a win's a win. He controlled the ground game. He did what he needed to. He almost finished Ferguson with a heel hook knee bar, whatever he had him in. Ferguson, really, man, I don't know what his deal is. He needs to figure some things out. I don't think he's finished. But maybe you need to step down from the top 5 for a little bit, get yourself some tune-up fights. There's nothing wrong with those. And get yourself back into the mix. And on to the main event of the evening. Charles Oliveira versus Michael Chandler. I hate to tell you I told you so, but god damn it, I fucking told you so. I've been saying for a month straight, put your money on Charles Oliveira. He's been in the game for so long. He has so much experience. He is a finisher. He finishes fights. He's kill or be killed. People were just discrediting this man because he's lost a few times. Yeah, man, he's lost a high-level competition where he's going for the kill the whole time. You got to respect that. I respect Michael Chandler, and I love the guy. I think he's a hard hitter. I think he is going to have a very, very bright future in the UFC. But this fight, he did not respect Oliveira's stand-up. He came out swinging. He caught Oliveira nice with some hooks. He ended up taking Oliveira to the ground. Oliveira goes to his back, has his back, doesn't get the finish. Had him in a rear naked choke, a solid one. Chandler ends up turning the position and starts ground and pounding. There was a moment where Oliveira got back up. He got backed up against the cage, and he got caught with some punches, and he just kind of fell to the ground and went for the leg and had his head just flat on the mat. It looked like the end of the hooker fight for a second. Chandler took advantage and started drilling this guy on the ground, raining down. In my mind, I was a little bit worried, like, oh shit, Oliveira might lose this fight. Oliveira handled it well, held his composure, tied up Chandler so Chandler couldn't really finish him, and they were able to move on to the second round. Chandler's mistake was not letting Oliveira back up. I think Oliveira in that moment was a little bit dazed and he was a little bit out of it, and I think if Chandler would have let him back up, he probably would have had a chance to win at that point. Long story short, the second round comes around. They're both standing up. At this point, I think Chandler, his respect for Oliveira's stand-up went out the window. He already landed. He already cut him bad. They both exchanged. They were both catching each other. But Chandler, goes for the kill right here. He starts throwing and gets caught in a nasty exchange where Oliveira catches Chandler with a nasty check left hook right on the button. Just beautiful. Nails him, puts him down for a second. Chandler gets back up. Oliveira, having the experience of being a killer, goes right in for the finish. Knees, punches, ends up TKOing Chandler to become the lightweight champion of the world. Guys, if you're putting money on this shit, listen to me. I told you guys for a month straight that Oliveira was going to do that exact shit. Chandler wasn't going to respect him. He was going to get caught in a stand-up, and that was going to be it. I thought it was going to be a submission finish, but a win's a win, a finish is a finish. Charles Oliveira is the new lightweight champion. I'm more than happy for the guy, man. I feel like with the amount of fights that guy's had in the UFC, he definitely deserves it. He earned that title. It was a beautiful finish. Much respect to Chandler because Chandler took that loss like a true professional. There was no bad blood. It is what it is. He got caught. Charles Oliveira is actually the #1 finisher in the UFC. He has 17 finishes. Probably is up there for winning bonuses. The guy's a freaking monster, dude. The ground game, the stand-up, people just fully threw him under the bus for his fight. I couldn't believe the disrespect this man was getting. Yeah, he's going to have tough fights in the future, but the man's prepared for that. He's a professional. The guy's a striker. He trains at shoot box. Those guys go fucking hard. That is one of the craziest Brazilian fight camps. If you don't know about it, do your history on that. People who train at that gym, they come out and they go for the kill. Those guys spar hard. They train hard. They're a solid group of dudes. A lot of killers from the UFC have come out of shoot box. It was just funny to hear these commentators go from, Chandler's gonna get the easy win. This is gonna be too easy for Chandler. Just too much power, too much explosion. And now they're just dick riding Oliveira. It's crazy. It's crazy to see that. The world we live in is so like hop on the bandwagon. Look, man, if you're a fight fan and you've been watching fights for a long time, you know just as well as I do that the experience is what's gonna come into play. If the guy's known for getting knocked out, he's probably going to get knocked out. If the dude's known for going for the kill, he's probably going to go for the kill. If he's a finisher, he's going to go for the finish. This is why you got to respect it. Take emotions out of it. Look at the fight for what it is. Chandler was riding one fight of hype. I'm not discrediting the guy. He knocked Hooker the fuck out. But Oliveira's a different breed, and he proved that. So hats off to you, Charlie Olives. I'm stoked that you're the champion right now. I can't wait to see who they throw your way, because every single fight that gets put together from this point on is going to be getting your money's worth. You're guaranteed you're going to see a good fight now in the lightweight division. I'm glad Khabib's gone, because I'm sick of that guy just destroying everybody. So now I'm hyped, because now you don't know what's going to happen. If Gaethje gets to fight him, that's fireworks. Winner of Conor and Poirier gets to fight Oliveira. Fireworks. You could go on and on. That's what I'm saying. Dariush needed to get that killer win to throw his name into the mix too. But regardless, I called it. I told you guys. And now Charles Oliveira is the new lightweight champion of the world. Gotta respect it. All right, guys. We have a huge fight coming up May 22nd, this Saturday at the UFC Apex Arena. We got Cody Garbrandt taking on Rob Font. I could not be more excited for a fight. I think I'm just as excited for this fight as I was for the Oliveira and Chandler fight. These guys are two strikers, two killers, two knockout artists. Rob Font isn't really as known as Cody Garbrandt is. Garbrandt, obviously was the champion, so he has a lot more hype behind him. He had that big rivalry with TJ Dillashaw that got him a lot of hype and fame. So he was riding that. And the ass whooping he put on Dominic Cruz. Those things put him on another level of fame. Rob Font's been the dark horse of the division, just riding his horse up to the fucking top. That guy is an amazing striker. They have both fought the top tier. They're both kill or be killed. So what it comes down to, cash versus trash. Who am I taking in this fight? Well, let's look at it. Garbrandt's riding a freaking huge knockout over a Sunsao. I think that was his last fight, I'm pretty sure. He wants to get back into title contention. He's hungry, he's motivated, fatherhood has changed him. Rob Font, on the other hand, is coming off of multiple finishes. The guy is an absolute savage. So if I had to go cash versus trash for this fight, I'm not going to get too into it because both of these guys are strikers. Both these guys are killers. It's a little bit tough of a decision, but if I had to make my decision, I'm going to crumple up Cody Garbrandt. We're going to throw his ass in the trash can because Rob Font is going to get the victory. I'm telling you guys, Rob's going to bring it. He's going to land hard on Cody. This is where I think things are going to get interesting. In the first round, Cody's the kind of guy when he gets hit, he gets mad and he wants to fire back and he wants to make it a slugfest. That's been a good thing and a bad thing for him. That's how he's been knocked out a lot of times. I think that's exactly what's going to happen. He's going to catch Rob Font. He's going to get a little bit cocky, start doing his little dance moves and shit. And then I think Font's going to catch him back. He's going to piss Garbrandt off probably in the first or early second round. They're going to get into a wild exchange. And I think that Font is more technically sound than Garbrandt is. Garbrandt, he's kind of a one-level guy. His main thing is boxing. He throws kicks in there, but he likes to box. He wants to throw those hands. I think he's going to throw those hands, and I think Rob is just going to crack him with a nasty counter and sleep him. I think Rob Font's going to get the knockout victory. If you had to put your money on it, put your money down on Rob Font because I think Cody is going to go to sleep. End of the first, beginning of the second. This is not going to be a long fight. Tune in May 22nd because if you want to get your money's worth and you want to check out a nasty fight, it's actually free on ESPN Plus. Dude, check it out. I'm telling you, Rob Font, baby, I got my money on him.
Haters talking shit, yeah, they breath stank. Walk up in the club dripping like I'm fresh paint. I can see through the facade like an X-ray. Let me